back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub! Hey. I'm full of water. I say hot tub. Come on, Wildcat. Wake up. Hot tub. Hot tub. Hey. Gonna get you hot tub. Gonna make it wet. Say hot tub.
That's good.
Hot tub. Rubber dub.
That's evil.
Should I get the hot tub?
Yeah.
Will it make me sweat?
Yeah.
Should I get the hot tub?
Get in.
Will it make me wet?
Yeah. Where? And welcome, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida on a beautiful Wednesday here in Paradise. We did have a transmitter blow on Thomas Drive. Power's out for a short period of time. Did it go out here? Do you know?
It must have, because some of the equipment when I came in was making alarms were going off and stuff like that.
They're working on it because if you're turning left on the Thomas Drive, there's policies everywhere. So
were the lights working up there?
They were, but I assume they had just come on because there was a big line coming over the bridge. So
good. Yeah. Brian's with us this morning. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
And the one and only, the legendary Glenn Eugene Manley. Glenn, you doing okay?
I'm doing good, but people are starting to call me Eugene.
That ain't all they're calling you.
Well, I can answer to those, but
I got a question for Glenn, though. I heard that Bay just celebrated their 100th anniversary.
I was in the first class.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you give stories about the day it opened?
Yeah.
Isn't that sad? He really was. Anyway. Wildcat, did you do okay last night? Did the storm wake you up?
I went deaf yesterday afternoon. I mean, I have no hearing. I don't know what's wrong, if it's an infection or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably from all the yelling on the show yesterday.
Yeah,
I can't see. I mean, I can't hear anything. So I know I got your headphones turned up a little bit loud, but I can't hear it. So I kind of slept through the storm pretty good.
There you go.
That's good. That's good if you can't hear us, because we can say stuff then, Kevin.
We will, too.
What'd you say?
Yeah, there you go.
Glenn, did it wake you up? Was it bad?
Well, it was. I had to shut the door to the doghouse because that's where I had to sleep last night. So.
That happens quite a bit of the Manley Mansion.
No, actually, it did wake me up because it was raining sideways into the windows and stuff.
This stuff Jason's giving, I swear to y'all guys, if you're having problems sleeping, I'm not kidding you now, because I don't. You see me in here when I'm really worn out. I just don't sleep well, and Julie doesn't either. And she's the reason I don't. But anyway,
wow,
we both are taking this stuff.
There's a text coming this way.
Well, the stuff
panky going on there.
The stuff Julie ordered for you is called chloroform.
That's right. That's right.
But we're both as a matter of fact, she mixes it up every night. So maybe I don't know what she
told you.
But it truly works. Now it doesn't knock you out quickly like some stuff. Like I was taking those Tylenol PM things, and those are really bad for you. You don't need to do that. So this is all natural.
Jason was saying take it like a half an hour before you go to bed.
Yeah,
because it's
and last
slowly.
And that's the thing. That last night we didn't do that because we were watching the President. Then we watched Auburn, and anyway, watched Auburn. That shocked me. Auburn's basketball team finally lost a game, but anyway, took it later, and I had to get up. I did get up because I drank a lot of water or whatever. So usually it just knocks you out. Once you fall asleep, you're in deep, good resting sleep. That's the reason I was asking you guys about the storm last night, because usually I wake up anytime there's any kind of storm. And I didn't wake up for that at all, so that's a good thing.
Wake up and bug out of town.
I was going to say, usually wake up, let's go to Birmingham.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Well,
the only thing about it was worse up there than it was here.
I got a rubber mallet. It won't cost you anything. I can just come in and pop you every day. And you
would love that.
Julie's already tried that.
Yeah. Well, Glenn, you got anything local?
I do.
What's going on?
So, last night in baseball, it was Bay High 4, Walton 0.
Hey,
and then this is a shocker. Baseball last night, Holmes County 9, Arnold 1. So,
what?
Holmes County 9, Arnold 1.
In baseball.
In baseball, yeah. So.
The bus didn't make it, or
I don't know.
Congrats to Holmes
Bozeman went
County.
over to Mosley, and Bozeman won 7-3 yesterday.
Go back. Go say it again.
Bozeman.
What was the score?
7-3 over Mosley yesterday.
Nice. Golly.
So, Pat's got it.
Pat, you got it rolling, man.
All right, and Marietta 2, North.
And Doug's rebuilding. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Marietta 2, North Haven 1. The Rutherford Rams and Fort Walton Beach played today, and then it was South Walton 18J 3. This is still,
South Walton is a power. You hear me? They are loaded.
This is still baseball. It was Poplar Springs 6, Vernon 5. It was Wakulla Christian 18, Crossroads Academy 1. It was Sneeds 15, Chipley 4, and it was Freeport 12 and Monroe 2. Rutherford 2. Now that was on Monday. And
Freeport won that game, right?
Yeah, 12-2 over the Rutherford, and that was Monday.
Yeah.
And Alpha 12, Malone 0. Softball last night, it was Arnold 7, Bozeman 1. South Walton 15, Mosley 2. It was North Haven 10, Walton 0. Rutherford Rams and Rocky Valley, they were canceled last night by the Rocky Valley administration. Don't know why. Weewa 10, Bluntstown 8. This is softball. And South Walton and Fort Walton Beach will play today at 6. And last night, Liberty County 16.
Could you go back and say the Arnold score one more time?
Arnold 7, Bozeman 1. Okay. And no, they didn't win a state championship. But I was going. They may be on their way, but
Yeah, well, Arnold softball is
and then it's
unbelievable.
just Liberty has a good. Most of those girls that play volleyball play softball. So they have Liberty County 16 and Marietta 0. That's an unusual score for Marietta. They're usually pretty good too. So, but get out there and so we'll see what goes on with the rest of the week. Hopefully the rain is over and the cold weather's over. So hopefully that goes on. But get out there and support your people and help every school that you possibly can.
Absolutely. Good job, Glenn Manley. Good job. I'm looking for a house. I'm looking at all these. They got the plans.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about buying you something sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Brian wants a RAV4. I went and looked at him, thinking about getting him one of those. Things got to fall in place. The investments I'm doing, if they come through, I'm going to help you guys out.
She might really have chloroform.
Wildcat ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting anything.
Oh, he's
Sorry.
back.
Did you hear that?
He's back.
Huh? Did you hear that?
Do you? Yeah. So if Musk finds out what's going on with you, you probably won't have all that money.
Yeah, this is somehow Coach Hale laundering money or something.
I don't
What's
know.
going on here?
Nancy, I saw a picture of Nancy. Man, you can look in their eyes when they're getting closer.
She had a bottle of Jack Daniels in her hand.
She either that or she's getting close to the end because you could just see it in her eyes. Once you break your hip like that.
Yep.
Yeah, but her eyes are evil anyway, so I don't know.
Well, when you break your hip, even though they may fix it, it's still, when the weather changes, you know it.
Yeah.
So, anyway. But, hey, you know what?
Last night, man.
He broke the record. It was the longest speech for last night.
Yeah, he did a good job. I was listening to, I was watching the rest of the Auburn game, and I did not listen to Andy. I didn't because it was late. I didn't even know they were still playing because he didn't get through talking about, or his speech was over probably about 10 or a little bit after 10. So we turn over there, and I said, oh, my God, Auburn. And I looked at the score, I said, what?
Yeah.
And I think Broom got hurt.
Because you weren't listening.
Yeah, do you know Broom got hurt?
I didn't end up watching any of it last night.
He gets hurt. I don't know how bad, don't know anything about it. But that affects you when you lose the best player in the country. That's a little bit. But anyway, Auburn we'll talk more about that in Auburn. We're going to do Auburn and FSU together like we do on Wednesdays.
That shows you the strength of the SEC, though. You don't know at any time.
That's what I asked Mark today. So what Florida basketball team shows up and want to beat Auburn, the one that got beat by Tennessee? Because this is a big game for Alabama. Alabama's got to win this game to finish, I think, second. They got a shot at second. So it's a big game tonight. And then the Auburn is Broom going to be able to play? Who knows? I don't know. I'll have to try to. We'll know more about tomorrow when Andy gets on here.
This Saturday is it when they play?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And then it starts. I started looking at rooms up in Nashville. They're not as bad as I thought. Even the top end was not as bad. Because I say this because I had just looked at Disney. I think spring break we're taking I want to take the grandkids to Disney World or Disney, whatever it is, and the rooms there for a decent, it really crazy. That's got to be the most expensive place on earth, is Disney. It's crazy what it costs for the rooms. And unless you get the, what's it called, Sports Inn or Sports or
I don't know, but
something
I'm
like that.
Brian, I went like when it was first open. That's the last time I went.
Yeah. They were still building Epcot the last time I went.
Yeah.
So.
Well, when you get grandkids, you got them, Glenn. Do you have grandkids yet?
No, I don't think my son's practicing right or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well.
Called it practicing.
Thank you, Glenn. That was great.
You know how hard you have to
family
work?
show. Thank you, Glenn Manley.
You have to work hard to get silence on this show. That was outstanding.
I didn't know what to say.
Well, I mean,
did you not have a talk with?
Well, if he's calling it practicing, then,
well, you always try to get better. So
Oh
I mean,
my God! This anyway. The big shocker to me though is Auburn yesterday in basketball.
What's that? You
I didn't
always
think they'd
say
lose a game, man. They're incredible, but we'll see. But you know what?
Setback.
That's right. Setback to come back. It doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Turn that negative situation to a positive. Setback to come back. War damn Eagle. They're going to be okay.
I mean, A&M's a good team, but
Yeah, they are. I think everybody in the SEC is pretty good.
Weren't they on the road last night?
Yeah, it was.
So we were talking about this Monday. That here's the crazy thing. So 13 SEC teams got bowl bids this year, right? And they all went. Right now, they're projecting 13 SEC teams in the NCAA tournament, and we always know in baseball they get a bunch, and it's very likely they could get 13 there. So, what was it? Herman Cain had 999. Maybe it's just going to be 13, 13, 13. Is that the mark of the devil?
I don't know. Yeah. What about softball?
Oh, God, we may get 16 in softball.
That's crazy, man. The top two teams, unbelievable. All right, let's talk about some of these great people. I'm pumped up about this. We all know Kyle Vandergriff. His daddy, Don, a legend. His mother, a legend. Everything that family touches seems to turn to gold. They are nothing but winners. They truly are. They've had great careers, both the mother and the father, touched so many lives in a positive way. Is incredible. But their son, man, Kyle, both of them. We might have some breaking news on the other boy later this week or next week. But anyway, he started the local 115, and they do an incredible job down there. Did you go? I didn't see you. They had a birthday party for him down there Sunday. We went down there Sunday. Had a great time.
As the old saying, I didn't get one in the mail, so I didn't know.
I was supposed to tell you.
Yeah.
Sorry. I forgot.
Shocking.
And Wildcat. I forgot to tell him, too. I didn't want him there. Yeah. But anyway, we had a really good time down there. Got to talk to his mom and dad, Judy and Don. But anyway, he also, not only they have the local 115, then that has a salad bar. It's kind of like the Bay County Hall of Fame. If you played at a school around here, a cheerleader, band member, a football player, coach, they got pictures everywhere. But not only does he have that, this is what I'm excited about, is TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. They design, they build, they can do it all. Commercial, residential, they're incredible. But the roofing, TK
A lot of people going to wake up
roofing
this morning and say, hey, what was that What was that phone number? What was that?
Yeah. And I'm not giving the phone number. You have to look up yourself. But anyway, I'll say this.
Name again?
I'm going to have
Audience
to get a
participation show here.
Yeah, I got to get a roof. I mean, it's about time to get a new roof, and I know who I'm going to go with. He just does a great job.
Right.
Kyle Vandergriff, unbelievable. Also, today is the special day every Wednesday at the legendary J. And you can tell spring break has started, guys.
Yep.
Remember the wintertime, it kind of slows down?
Yeah.
It's been packed out. Lunch, dinner. Spring break is here, and people come to the legendary J. Michaels. What is the special today, guys? What is the special?
Spaghetti.
That's why Glenn wore his red shirt.
That's right.
You won't tell the sauces all over him.
That's right.
The legendary J. Michaels restaurant, they only do it on Wednesday. Their spaghetti is incredible. People come there all week. Well, they'll come there once a week just for that spaghetti. It's that good. Lunch and dinner, J. Michaels. The best seafood, the coldest beer, the legendary J. Michaels. Now, if you're over in town, you're in Lynn Haven, there's only one place you want to go today. That's Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. Pat Pernos, the city commissioner, does an incredible job there. But his restaurant is unbelievable. On Wednesday, 10 big manly wings. Not Glenn's wings, but manly wings. 10 of them. And a side for $9.99.
I had them.
You've had them before. They're incredible. Everything's great there. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven.
Because Glenn took me to lunch.
Yeah.
Glenn
Well,
did.
I told you to be there Friday. Did you show up Friday at 11?
You didn't tell me to be there Friday at 11.
Oh, I forgot. Okay. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven. South Oak Tottenham closing for all your real estate closing. And we shall return. When we get back, one of the top coaches in the Southeast, nothing but a winner, state championship coach, Coach Hudson, Bay High School. Be right back. It's Wednesday. It's Manly Day. It's Bay Day. Same thing.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
It's that time of year again. The Women's Civic Club of Panama City Beach presents the Spring Fling Juried Arts and Crafts Show, Saturday, March 8th from 9 to 3 at Frank Brown Park Recreation Center. Donation is only $1 for adults. Sponsored by the Women's Civic Club of Panama City Beach, a non-profit organization supporting charitable causes in Panama City Beach and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny tomorrow morning with temps near 68 and a wind 18 to 22 miles per hour. Sunshine in the afternoon and evening, a strong breeze out of the west and a temperature of 69. A little colder Thursday around 63 with sunshine and a wind at 11 miles per hour out of the northwest. Partly sunny Friday, a light breeze and quite warm around 68. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Introducing Southern Breeze Primary Care. With 45 years of experience, owners Holly Gay and Lisa King bring warm, friendly care, Southern charm, and a family vibe. They are the pros in youth sports, physicals, general health care, Bio-T hormone replacement therapy, certified DOT exams, and Coast Guard physicals. Southern Breeze, 107 West 19th Street, Suite B, 850-248-8002. Walk-ins are welcome and insurance is accepted but not required. Southern Breeze offers breezy solutions for your health care needs.
He doesn't try on clothes at the department stores. He just rips stuff off the hanger and lives with the consequences for years.
It's classy, it's intriguing. He's sexy, sassy, and full of spunk.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
That's good. Welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest. We hope you have a great day today. Drive careful. The roads might be a little wet. I'm not sure about that. But anyway, that wind was pretty bad last night. We love Wednesdays. We get one of the top coaches, if not the top coach in the Southeast. He has won state championships. He's everywhere he's been. There's never a question, would they win? It just takes how long. And he has done it already at Bay High School. Glenn, I know you were pleased when it was announced he would be the coach.
Yes, sir.
And I can't say enough good things about him. The only negative thing about him, the Wildcat thing, the Kentucky thing. Besides that, I think he's perfect. Take that, Wildcat.
Me, Coach.
Hey, I'll take it.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
Sounds good.
You got my back.
Good morning, Coach Hudson. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Not bad. I've got blood work this morning, so I haven't had any coffee. But I'm doing all right though. I'm okay. I'm gonna make it.
You'll be fine. Well, are you okay? Are you just an annual checkup?
No. Yeah. Regular checkup. Checkup.
All right. Good. Don't let Glenn stress you out. He has that effect on a lot of people. Believe me.
Not anymore. When I'm retired, it doesn't bother me.
Anyway, hey, we hadn't talked to you in a while. Give us a rundown of what's happened, and we want to hear names of these players that you're developing over there that are doing a great job for you. But take over, take your time, and just give us everything you give us.
All right. Well, we've played 2 games since we talked last. We went over to Arnold and played at Arnold. I don't believe we've talked about that game. No, it was Friday night. So we went over there, played hard, lost 7-4 over there at Arnold. And, again, we've making some errors that don't help us. But, again, that has a lot to do with the team you're playing. And Arnold's got a lot of speed, and I think they speed us up a little bit. Some of our younger guys, they just speeds them up. You look up, and the guy's, 3/4 of the way down the line, and then you speed yourself up a little bit. And so they have a lot to do with errors, and that's part of the game, and that's good teams don't do that. But, then Nico threw the ball really well for Arnold that night. He held us to one hit, and, we kept fighting and, battled back, and, I think it ended up 7-4, and we had a couple guys on, and I had a tying run at the plate there. So, really excited about that, and that we came out and didn't, we played 7 innings instead of coming out and saying, well, it's not going well, and, we got down 3 or 4 runs and, kept fighting. So Jonathan Corona, 3 more hits for us that night, and he's just been hitting the ball well, playing great for us, just same as he did last year. And Grayson Gibson, Andrew Scott, Elliot Richter, they all combined to only give up a couple earned runs on that game. And, Arnold does such a good job of bunting and running around the bases. They can fly around the bases. And when you get a first and third with Arnold, that's like they got you in like a headlock. They bunt the ball so well, and they run bases, and it's first and third, then there's another bunt, there's another first and third, and then, they just do a fantastic job of that. That's a real strength of theirs, and Coach has done a great job with them. Between last year to this year, they're night and day on that, and they really take advantage of their strengths there. It's going to help them when they're in close games down the road too, to be able to do those things. So they did a great job with that. And then last night we played Walton here at our place, and like you say, the wind was blowing straight in, 20, 30 miles an hour, and it was a tough day for the hitters. So I thought we did a pretty good job, keeping the ball out of the air. We had, I looked it up a minute ago, we had 17 ground balls and line drives and only 4 fly balls last night. So we did a really good job there with that, and stole a few bases and got some bunts down ourselves there. And Corona had 2 more hits, 2 RBIs. Alex Baker had a couple of hits, and Cam Hamill did a good job leading in the leadoff spot last night. But the story of the game last night really was Trace Brooks, who came in through a no-hitter, complete game no-hitter, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, was totally dominant on the mound again. That's his second no-hitter of the year for Trace.
Congratulations.
The other one was combined, and this one was complete game. I mean, he didn't throw a lot of pitches, especially for striking out 10 guys. He barely touched 80 pitches, and
wow.
So, but he has been fantastic for us on the mound. And speaking of the mound, that's really been our strength. And him and Grayson Gibson, Andrew Scott, those 3 guys have been our starting guys for us so far. And Joey West, we got real faith in Joey West coming in relief, kind of being like a closer guy for us. Elliot Richter and Cooper Pendergrass also on the mound. Those guys have really led the way for us. Our defense hasn't been fantastic. Our hitting is getting burnt. We're coming around a little bit, swinging the bats, but really the pitching has been the consistency and what's gotten us off to a 6-3 record here.
Yeah, you got a little quirky schedule. You turn right around and play Walton again, don't you?
We do. Yes, we do. Walton likes to try to do that. They like to play 2 in a same team twice in a week. I think it's sometimes people don't like seeing the same guys over and over. So I think some teams do that just so you see different pitching. So that's fine with us. We really, like I said, we've got several pitchers we feel comfortable with.
Well, it's early in the season, and things seem to be going really well compared to what it used to be over there. How do you feel about everything? Are you pretty pleased? I mean, you're never completely pleased, but do you feel pretty good about where you guys are right now? Did you think you'd be here, or you got a lot more work to do?
No, I really do. I feel like this is where we should be. I want to get out there and be able to compete with the biggest dogs that are out there. But it's one of those deals where you have to take it in steps, and you have to take it when everybody's ready to move forward. And at this point right now, I couldn't be happier with how we've come out and the way we approach ball games and expecting to win, those type of things that are that you don't just go out and say, hey guys, we need to expect to win this game, and they're going to expect to win this game.
Yeah.
It takes time, and it takes those guys being confident enough in their abilities and things they can do, and believing in each other. And there's a lot of things that are involved in a team, especially when it's you've got 18 guys and only 9 play, and so then you have to then now you got roles that that kids need to figure out where they fit in and how they're going to help the team best. And so there's a lot that goes into it. It's a whole process, and at this point now, couldn't be happier with how we're playing, and how we're approaching practices and the confident level that that we've got out here. So really happy with how it's going.
You said something that made me think, and Glenn and I talked about it before you were hired. He had all the confidence in the world knowing you would win there. But it's like in Bay County, to me, in Bay County, it's like SEC baseball. It's so hard to go into an SEC program and turn it around because the competition's so great. All the great coaches we have in baseball, right? If you're not good, you're not going to last long. That's just the way it is. And you've been able to do that. How difficult? I mean, you got school of choice to deal with. There's some schools, they get a kid and they get it rolling pretty good, and all of a sudden they're at some other school that's a traditional winner in baseball. You see it in all these sports now. But to hit on that a little bit, is it tougher? Am I wrong? Is it tougher now to go into a program and turn it around, or do you think it's the same?
Well, I don't know. I really never, when I was at Rutherford, there wasn't a whole lot of transferring around for those up until 2014 or whatever. And, there wasn't a whole lot of that going on. But I don't know that I coach any different than I did back then. I really just want to believe in our guys and make them feel like that their coach believes in them, and that, and that we're working on some things and getting better. And if kids, if they want to come, over here, that's great. It's definitely a lot more. There's a lot more of that going on, where players can go wherever they want to go, and it's a whole different ball game. I mean, when you talk about 5 years or 10 years, 20 years, how the game has changed.
Yeah.
It's huge there. But the only thing I can do, and through all the different changes, is coach the best way I can. Hopefully make kids better, help them improve at the game. But it's huge as far as a team sport, and when you get kids that believe in each other and really start to get a team aspect going, kids want to play there. They want to play for a program where it's a positive experience, and there's standards that are set that aren't it's not really performance based. It's more effort based, and how you approach the game and how you approach, your teammates. So I don't know that I've answered your question, but that's really what I try to do, and that hasn't really changed at all for me, because, it's not like we can go out there and recruit anybody. We just do the best we can and coach the guys that are here, and, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Coach, the junior varsity guys are the ones going to build your program. How's that coming along, and how are you pleased with that progress?
Well, 2 years ago we didn't have one.
Right.
Last year we played one JV game a week, and that was all we could do. We just didn't have the pitching arms and to be able to throw innings. And so this year we've got it where we've got 5-6 guys now that we can get up there. They throw strikes, and the pitching staff is really coming along there, and so we're able to play more games. Now, as soon as I say that, now we get cold weather where you have to move JV games. So they got 2 games moved so far this spring for cold weather later in the year. We didn't lose them, but they haven't played. Right. And then last night we had a problem because Walton, the Walton School Board decided that they had to get back home by 9:00 last night. So we lost another JV game because we had to just play the varsity so they could get the bus back to beat the bad weather. So, I'm really frustrated for the JV that we haven't gotten to play more games up to this point, but they need to play. They're going to play. And, I'm really looking forward to these guys developing. I think we've got some really good talent down there. We've got some 9th graders that are just really out of this world. I think they're going to be fantastic. And I've got 3 sophomores that are ready to go. at the next level when they get their chance. So the JV program's really strengthened.
Oh, good. I'm glad your number's up. One more question. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. I'm not trying to trap you, but all these new academies and everything that are going up now, they're all trying to have sports. How's that going to affect Bay County baseball? Do you know, pulling from school?
I don't know. I don't really know about these academies. I know if they have baseball, they kids are playing there. I mean, whatever these academies are, I don't even know. I just heard of another one over in Pensacola popped up. I don't know what's going on around Panama City. I haven't heard a whole lot of academies here that for baseball that are coming up. But I know you're right that they are coming. There are a lot of these academies are having sports teams starting up. I think our softball team had a little scrimmage yesterday, I believe. I'm not sure, but there's one of the charter academies, I think, is a new one. So I know there's some of them popping up through Pensacola, that, but I don't know how it's going to affect us. We're just going to keep on coaching our guys.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk to you next week and go get you some wins. Great job, Coach.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Thanks.
Get any type of injury, we got the legendary doctor to go see. People from all over the Southeast come to Bay County to be operated on Dr. Chad Mitchell. The guy is incredible. Colby Baker, all over the world. Greco was unbelievable. Russia, all over the world he was going. Had surgery by Chad. Chad did a great job, kept him going. The guy can do that for every athlete out there. He can do it for anybody out there. Any type of injury, we're talking shoulders, hips, knees, you name it. Go see Dr. Chad Mitchell. Listen to him every Monday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Also, don't forget about Stevenson Air Conditioning. We love Jason. They do an incredible job. Locals taking care of locals. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. Also, newbies, we got 4 great locations. The new one over there, Glen Loves and St. Andrews. The blue building is beautiful. Facilities incredible inside and out. Go have a great time at all or one of the 4 newbies. Go see all of them. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Dr. Ward, where is he?
What place is he?
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Well, I'm Wildcat on the Coach James Hale Show, and without missing a beat, the guy turns around and looks at me and says, "It really sucks to be you, don't it?"
He sure got your autograph. He won the bag last year. He was
Go to Pete Rose route, man. Start charging for autographs.
Exactly. Weekday mornings 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Take your next adventure at an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Bendian's Best Moves is a local moving company in Panama City, providing reliable services to the families and businesses in our community. Coveted for the long list of services they provide, experts at what they do, and they do it all from start to finish. The pros at Bendian's Best Moves have moved doctors, attorneys, pastors, schools, small businesses, the federal government, and they can move you too. For the best moving experience, it's Bendian's Best Moves. Call now, 850-583-0814.
I'd like to introduce.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
Milk was a bad choice.
If I could just have your attention. 60% of the time, it works every time.
If anyone wants to switch jobs, let me know.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
I have many leather-bound books.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got Doc on the phone. The legend, the legendary Dr. Ward. People listen just for this reason. What's he going to say about FSU? I have a guy, Jay Michaels, always gets upset whatever he says about FSU. But he does have some great points, and we're going to pick his brain today. But let's bring him on. Doc, skin cancer is deadly. I met a guy yesterday, you actually operate on him, his brain, up in his head, and he just went on and on about you. I won't say his name, but he's a little bit older, and we work out together. And I said, who cuts your head? Who did that? And he goes, man, Dr. Ward. I said, you know that's one of my sponsors. He goes, yep. He said, he's great. So anyway, you do an incredible job. Now, women, breast cancer, skin cancer, where can they go to get up with the legendary Dr. Ward? Give us your locations.
Well, all you got to do to make sure your skin is healthy and cancer-free is give us a call at 233-3376. You can see us at one of our 8 area convenient locations in Port St. Joe, Panama City Beach, Water Sound, Santa Rosa Beach, Defuniak Springs, Mariana, or Bonifay. And I do want to give a special shout-out to our patients and the community of Bonifay, Florida, because they played a fantastic baseball game last night against Arnold High School and beat them 9-1. And that is just incredible that small school up there in Bonifay can, they're 7-1. Their only loss was to Arnold in Panama City Beach, but, you know, they don't have any D1 commits on their team. And their pitcher, Bradley Garrett, who is a Northwest Florida State College commit, pitched the whole game, 15 strikeouts over the game. I mean, that kid should be the Panhandle Athlete of the Week, no doubt. And they were Arnold threw Florida commit Eli Blair, and the Garrett kid just totally outshined for that 9-1 win. So, I mean, shout out to Bonifay High School. They did really, really well last night. That is a team, at least in the 1A division, to watch out for. That team could easily win a state championship.
Wow. Well, I know Coach Jones had a lot of respect for that ball club. He talked about they were good. Unbelievable. You talking about 1A baseball, it doesn't matter what level. The baseball played here in the Panhandle of Florida is incredible. South Walton, my goodness, they are loaded. I didn't realize how really good they are. They could win it all. You're talking about winning a state championship, they can win a lot of things.
Yeah, speaking of that, there's going to be a pretty big game. I think is it later this week where they're playing Arnold? I think Thursday night. South Walton and Arnold are playing. I want to say it's at Arnold. So
it is. It's at Arnold.
You're going to see D1 commits everywhere. It's going to be a great baseball game. So I would go, but my son has a middle school baseball game.
Yeah, and I never make excuses for Arnold if they get upset, but maybe they were looking ahead.
Possibly. Well, when you got a kid throwing gas and 15 strikeouts, you can't look ahead.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have said that. Let's give Holmes credit. They did a great job. All right, I want to pick your brain this morning. Anything else you want to go over before I start asking you questions?
No, you ask away.
All right, here we go. And I want all my 2 geniuses right here beside me to help you out.
Well, we'll help. I don't know where those guys are.
Yeah. Here we go. This, and I want to say it was on either 24/7 or is CBS, okay? Daring predictions for college football 2025.
Alabama.
Number 1.
Oh, sorry.
Here's the question. Number 1, did they get it right? The Cinderella school this year of the group of 5 will make the playoffs. They have a new head football coach that has proven he's nothing but a winner. Dan Mullen, UNLV, will make the college football playoffs this year, his first year as the head football coach at UNLV. We know he did an incredible job at Mississippi State. Some people feel like that Florida pulled the plug maybe too early on at Florida.
Some people feel like too late.
Doc, what say you? Did they get this right, or are they completely wrong?
Well, UNLV has plenty of NIL money for a Group of 5 school. They should be able to bring some good players in there. And Mullen showed at Florida what he can do with a group of players that he didn't recruit, because recruiting is really Dan Mullen's weak point. So, I could totally see UNLV, doing that.
So you agree, right?
I agree it's possible for sure.
All right, Brian?
I agree. I think they have as good a shot as anybody that's out there right now. They were in the mix late into the season last year for it. The only thing I will say is that Dan needs Dan's type of quarterback, and I don't know much about the kid who finished the season at UNLV. Of course, they had the Sluka kid left after the first 3 games because he was upset over his NIL deal. Now, the guy who finished the season did well, but I haven't really watched UNLV enough to know if he's a Mullen type of quarterback. That'd be my only worry for him being a first-year coach in there. The rest of the team has a lot of talent, and they have been able to go out and poach some players in the portal, so they've got as good a shot as anyone.
Glenn?
Yeah, I think he's got a good chance. The only 2 things, like Brian said about the quarterback, but the other thing is he needs to bring some people in that can recruit to help him, because that's one of the things he really doesn't. He might as well be an NFL coach because he doesn't really worry too much about it.
All right, all 3 you say yes. I say no. First-year head football coach is your toughest year. I just don't think it happens. Number 2, another first-time college football coach will win a national championship. Texas head football coach Stark, not LSU Kelly, Franklin, Penn State, Oregon, Landing. They say, out of those guys to choose from, they say it's not going to be Kelly at LSU, it's not going to be Franklin at Penn State, it's not going to be Landing at Oregon. This is going to be Stark next year, win the national championship. Doc, what say you? Does that happen? Does Texas win it all next year?
Well, they're putting a lot of hope on Arch Manning, obviously, thinking that he's going to be the answer to Texas's prayers. Quinn Ewers, they thought would be the answer this past year, and he wasn't. I'm not buying Texas as a national champion. Are they going to make the playoffs? Absolutely. I'm not buying them as a national championship team. I just haven't seen the kind of toughness on both lines of football that you're going to need to do that. So playoffs, yes. Championship, no.
And remember, they're at Georgia, they're at Ohio State. Good luck with that schedule. Brian, real quick, who you like? Will it be Stark?
I understand why he's the odds-on favorite. I've actually been on record on this question that as much as it pains me to say it, with what they got coming back next year, I think Franklin's the most likely of these 4 to win the first one. They've got a good team coming back.
I kind of mentioned that yesterday to our 2 Buckeye boys, and they laughed at me.
Look, he gets in his own way more than any coach in football. They may have enough talent coming back to negate his.
Yeah, it's
I'm with you. I said, watch out for them. Who you like, Glenn? Was it Stark? That's the question. Is it going to be Stark?
I don't think so. I just think there'll be too many bumps in the road with a new quarterback, even though he's supposed to be all that in a bag of chips. I just think there's too many unknowns. First of all, the defensive line, like Doc said, and also the secondary. They lost some secondary guys.
Yeah.
Penn State, I don't know. I don't think. See, Landing found out when he got in the playoffs, okay, I made it this far, but it's a little tougher when you get in the playoffs.
Yeah, I will say this. Landing doesn't have Ohio State next year.
Right. But
so
still,
that's going to help him. Until they get the playoffs.
I hate to do this too, Brian, but I'm going to lean a little bit towards Penn State before the others.
Okay. Right. Number 3. Here's the third question for you, Doc. Alabama, this is what they're saying. Alabama rebounds. Alabama will win the SEC. Remember, they're at Auburn. Good luck with that. They're at Georgia. They're at South Carolina. They're at FSU. Does Alabama rebound in year 2 and win the SEC?
No, because Kalen DeBoer is not Nick Saban. There was a lot of weakness shown from the Alabama team throughout the season last year. I know they're a good team, a solid team, but Alabama is not getting back to where Alabama was with Kalen DeBoer at the helm.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back and finish this up. Doc, I will say right this. I'm with you. I don't see it, the lack of discipline. Maybe year 2, though. Some schools, year 2, a coach is totally different. Things are a lot better, so hopefully that's what's going to happen. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Do you want to get some good sleep? Do you want to get your cholesterol down? Jason Kovaleski can do all these things naturally. You don't have to get prescription drugs that affect your body in different ways. Max Fit Sports Nutrition is incredible. I'm finally getting some good sleep because of Jason Kovaleski. Go by and visit with him. You want to get your son and daughters bigger, stronger, faster, he can make it happen. Also, if you love pizza, there's only one place to go, Paparazzi Pizza on Thomas Drive. We'll be right back with the legendary Dr. Ward. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the man cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny tomorrow morning with temps near 68 and a wind 18 to 22 miles per hour. Sunshine in the afternoon and evening, a strong breeze out of the west and a temperature of 69. A little colder Thursday around 63 with sunshine and a wind at 11 miles per hour out of the northwest. Partly sunny Friday, a light breeze and quite warm around 68. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Get your shine on at Tommy's Express Car Wash. Now with a special offer for new members only. Purchase our best wash, The Works, at Tommy's Express and get your first month of unlimited washing with the Tommy Club free. The Works includes our best red hot cleanser, tire shine, and ceramic body wax to protect your paint job and seal and shine. Hurry in today. This is a limited time offer. Tommy's Express, Highway 77 and 23rd Street, next to Starbucks.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Bonafide and qualified.
Live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
Certified.
From the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, the home of your Auburn Tigers. Tomorrow, 8:15, everything you need to know about Auburn. The legendary Andy Burcham, and not used to Auburn losing. We'll talk more about it in a little bit. All right, Coach Ward said, no way, Bama does not win the SEC, so they get it wrong. Brian, did they get it right? Bama rebounds and wins the SEC 2025, yes or no?
No, but I have a different reasoning. It has less to do with Kalen DeBoer and more to do with the fact that they're going to have a new quarterback. They have a new... they're losing a key offensive lineman, losing a key linebacker. They're losing their starting running back. And
they're thin at running back.
Georgia and Texas and LSU and all these other teams are still in the SEC.
And Auburn's better. They're home.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll be in the mix and have a good shot at making the playoffs as the second or third team from the SEC, but I think Georgia's going to win the conference.
Glenn, they got 8 back on defense. They're talking about how good this defense is going to be. Championship defense. What do you
don't
think?
Like losing a linebacker.
What about Alabama?
Be careful what you ask for when you ask me that question. But, no, Here's the thing. They got rid of the best recruiting coordinator ever, and so that's hurt them quite a bit. I just don't think the chemistry will mix out like you think. It'll take another year or two.
Okay.
And again, they still have to go play Auburn. They have to play Texas. So in Georgia, I don't think he's going to be there yet. But I think he'll be in the playoffs.
Okay.
I think they'll have strong enough record. He'll be in the playoffs.
Dr. Ward, Big Ten football. They've kind of taken over the sport. They've won back-to-back national championships. They're predicting that the Big Ten will have six teams to win 9+ games. They've talked about Ohio State. They got Michigan back, Oregon, Penn State, Illinois, USC, and there's even more out there that could do it. The bottom line question, will the Big Ten have 6 teams win 9+ games? Yes or no?
Does that include the bowls, or we're talking regular season?
Bowls.
I mean, I could see it happening, and reason being, once you get past the teams that are good, the Big Ten sucks at the bottom. I mean, they're just bad, like not good.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you're in the Big Ten and you're not, and if you don't win 5 conference games in the Big Ten, you're bad. You're a bad football team.
Yeah.
So it's not like in the SEC where every single week, outside of Vanderbilt, which actually, I'm sorry, Vanderbilt.
They beat Alabama.
No.
Thank you.
Good. I know.
I was thinking you were going another direction.
So who's your team in the SEC that you're just
Mississippi State
and roll in
Yeah.
and trounce? Yeah, Mississippi State was the only team this year that you could roll into their field and feel good that you were going to win. So
come through this microphone.
You're going to have really good teams in the SEC that go 4-4 or 5-3, and you're going to have mediocre teams in the Big Ten with those records in conference, and those teams are going to be horrible.
Yeah,
but, that's just the thing.
I didn't even mention Indiana. There's another one that I don't know they win nice.
But I mean, look at Indiana. Look at Indiana last year. I mean, who did they beat in the regular season? Nobody. And then of course, they get exposed for not being a very good team that everybody was like, oh, Indiana's so good. But no, they were just a mediocre team as well.
Yes or no? 6, 9+.
Doc asked the key question about the bowls. Because of that, yes, they'll get 6.
Glenn?
I think the top echelon, there's 6 top echelon teams that will win.
Yeah, I think they got 6 easy. All right, the legend, Bill Belichick, is now the head football coach at North Carolina. They say year 1, he will lose 3 games versus power competition, Power 4, 5, whatever it is. And they mentioned TCU, they mentioned Central Florida, they also mentioned Clemson. Does he lose 3 big-time games next year?
Absolutely. He's going to find out coaching college is not like coaching
totally
NFL.
Different.
And, I mean, it's like everyone thought Chip Kelly was going to be great at UCLA. And look at what happened there. So I'm selling Belichick in North Carolina all day long.
Yeah. Well, the other question, if he does lose these 3, will his girlfriend stay with him? No, I'm kidding.
He's still got that money.
Yeah, he's still got the money. She will. Yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, no, he's not going to. He's going to lose more than 3 is the thing. He could do a fantastic coaching job and go 9-3 with that team. I think he's going to be more 7-5, 8-4 if he's lucky.
Glenn?
I think he'll lose 3 or more. Yeah,
I agree with you guys. Ole Miss quarterback Austin Simmons, I think's his name.
Yeah,
he goes to New York for the Heisman celebration, but he doesn't win it. But he gets to go there. Ole Miss offense, Lane Kiffin always scores big points. Their quarterbacks usually put up big numbers. Does he? He looked good when he came against Georgia. He looked really good. But we don't know. That was just, maybe he was hot this one game. Does this happen? A brand new quarterback at Ole Miss. Now, I like the offensive. I like the head coach. I like the offensive coordinator. He probably will have the numbers to get there. Their schedule's pretty difficult, though. Does he get there, Doc? The new quarterback at Ole Miss, Simmons, does he make it to New York?
schedule's too tough. Not enough history there. I know he looks good, but he's not coming in with the hype and name recognition some other quarterbacks that are going to have a chance to do it as well. So I would say no.
No, but he's real good, and what's going to happen is that it's going to be the Lagway effect in a way. He's going to show how good he is this year, and they're going to get some better weapons through the portal. So I think 2 years from now he does go, but not this year.
Glenn?
Yeah, same way as Brian feels. I just think it's too early.
He's talented, though.
I say no, because the SEC, you're going to have Manning. If he has big numbers, with the name alone, he'll be there. And Florida's got the best quarterback in the country. This freshman Alabama's got is something else. If he starts, he's going to be something special. All right, the other question and the last question, what was it? Carnell Tate, not Smith. Okay, you got Tate, you got Smith at Ohio State. Unbelievable. This Smith kid is the best wide receiver in college football last year as a freshman, I think. But you got Tate. They say, hold on, it's not going to be Smith, it's going to be Tate that leads Ohio State in receiving yards and touchdowns, or whatever, receiving yards. We'll stick with one. Do they have it right? Will the star this year be Tate, or it will be Smith? Remember, when you get really good like Smith, a lot of teams try to double-team him and take him out of the ball game. So, Doc, do they have it right? Tate's the guy you got to watch at Ohio State this year, not Smith.
I think you got to watch both of them. They're obviously Smith had a great year. They're going to be playing a lot of really bad Big Ten teams that and out of conference outside of Texas. I think is pretty pedestrian too. So, they're going to be teams that can't defend him. So he's going to get his receptions, his yards, his touchdowns. I'm probably going to say no, and that Smith will still have the better.
Yeah, Smith's 6'4", 225, can run like a deer. He's a Julio Jones. Brian, what do you think? Will it be Tate or will it be Smith?
I think it could be Tate for exactly that reason, but Smith will still be the best receiver on that team. He just won't have the same numbers.
Okay.
I still think he can get his numbers. It was hard enough to, who can get the ball to him? That's the big thing.
Yeah, we got a new quarterback.
Even though when he's double-teamed, he was open a lot last year and he didn't get the ball. So I think he can do it. I think it can be Smith.
All right, Doc, I got to ask you about the Florida Gators tonight. Alabama, Florida, basketball. Auburn's already won it. Auburn was upset last night. Shocked me. But which team shows up? The team that shows up at Auburn and beats them, or the team that went and got destroyed by Tennessee? This is a big game for both of them. They're all fighting for number 2. Does Bama get it done tonight at home, or the Gators come in there and get it going? I really, when Florida plays, I think they could win it all. But can they do it? Can they beat Bama tonight?
Absolutely, they can beat Bama, and the reason being, we've got so many different weapons, and last 3 games, Will Richard has been out of his mind, just knocking down threes, grabbing rebounds, doing just everything for the team, Clayton's been a little off. But he gets hot. He can hit the long ball. You got Elijah Martin. We got Condon, who was out. He's back. He had a really great game too against A&M. With Florida, you've just got weapons everywhere on the court. I actually like Florida going into Tuscaloosa and coming out with the victory. First team to 100 wins.
I want to ask you this. Florida football, getting a lot of positive vibes out of them from Vegas and everywhere else. ESPN came up with they take every kind of information you can possibly get, and they came out with a way too early top 25. Florida's in there. I've seen other ones, Florida ranked in the top 10. I just think the schedule's brutal. But I do want to ask you this. In September, they go to LSU on September 13th. That's a huge game in the SEC. But the next week, they go to Miami. What if you had to pick a win? Would you pick beat Miami or beat LSU? Remember, recruiting's big in South Florida. I think it's huge to win the state championship in Florida. What's a bigger game, LSU because it's in the SEC, or Miami. They beat Miami. They beat FSU. There's a state champs. It helps them in recruiting. It helps them nationally. But to me, it'd be LSU because of the SEC. What's your take on that? Which is a bigger game?
So both are big games, but if you're looking at keys to making it to the playoffs, I think from a standpoint of a game they should circle to win, it should be the Miami game. Reason being is it's an out-of-conference game. I think it's easier to win at Miami. I mean, obviously, Miami does not have a great home crowd typically. I think, obviously, this game will be a sellout, but you'll have a lot of Gator fans there. And, in Baton Rouge, you're gonna be in an incredibly hostile enviment. And I think LSU is a better team than Miami as well. So I think of those two games, the one that is the most important to win is going to be the Miami game. Yeah. You lose Miami, you're probably going to lose LSU as well. But you can beat Miami and lose LSU and live to fight another day.
Yeah, and LSU, this is kind of a do or die season. I think he needs to have a good year there. And he talked about the roster. They think they got a championship-type team over there, so we shall find out. All right, Doc, real quick, what's the best way to get up? Skin cancer can be deadly. What can we do to protect our skin?
Well, easy to protect your skin. Don't leave unexposed skin. Cover up. But if you are out there without, a shirt, hat, all that sort of stuff, just wear sunscreen and reapply. And if you've got something that you're not sure about, you got to get it checked out. Skin cancer is deadly, but if it's found early, incredibly treatable, easy to take care of. So give us a holler at 233-3376. See us at one of our 8 area convenient locations. 5 minutes is all it takes to get checked and make sure you're healthy and cancer-free. And you can see us in Defuniak Springs, Bonifay, Mariana, Port St. Joe, Panama City Beach, Watersound, or Santa Rosa Beach.
Doc, we appreciate you so much. We'll talk to you next Wednesday. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. You have a great one.
You too. All right, Turf Pro Pest Control. You want that yard to look beautiful? Patrick can make it happen. You got insects, you worried about that? That house won't have any. Patrick can take care of that. Listen to Patrick every Monday, 8:30, right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Turf Pro.
You're doing, you'll clean it up.
Turf Pro, #1. I love Russ. I love Amber. Where can we go? What? We could go to down to Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven, have a great lunch, go on down to the jewelry store.
And they have told me to especially next time I saw Brian, they wanted me to remind him that bridal season is just around the corner.
Donna said the same thing. Donna, J. Michael said the exact same thing.
What did I do this weekend?
They saw you and Donna hugging.
Well, bridal season could be you be riding a horse.
David Adamson Jewelry can custom make a diamond engagement ring for you in 10 days or less, and all you got to do is go down there and help them design it. Use your time and money and just go crazy, Brian, and design something special for that someone you love. David Adamson, Designer Jewelry, Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
That commercial was
figure out her name first.
Yeah, that commercial brought to you by Donna. That's a little inside joke for us.
Trying to get him and David married off there.
All right, we'll be right back. Alabama, 104.3, and then after that, Auburn, Florida State combined. We'll be right back. 104.3, ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball on the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny tomorrow morning with temps near 68 and a wind 18 to 22 miles per hour. Sunshine in the afternoon and evening, a strong breeze out of the west and a temperature of 69. A little colder Thursday around 63 with sunshine and a wind at 11 miles per hour out of the northwest. Partly sunny Friday, a light breeze and quite warm around 68. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorrento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update. Weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whoa! Alabama Update is brought to you by the legendary Steverson Air Conditioning. Jason is a local man, started this business, and it's expanded throughout the Panhandle of Florida. You know why it has? Because they do incredible work. They're honest, they're hardworking people, and they're dependable. They tell you you're going to be there, they're there. They're going to tell you it's the price, it's the price. They are the most honest, hardworking people I know, and I'm proud to have them part of our show. Love Jason, love Stevenson Air Conditioning. The best purchase I've made. Our power bill is so low, it's crazy. Now, he did come out and show us some things you can do with your windows, all these kind of things that help save money and energy. They can do that for you.
He told you to clean them, too, didn't
Close them.
Actually, I'll be honest with you, the house looked better after they came in and took out all the line, we had everything done, everything new. They did an incredible job. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. And they can do that for you. Give them a call. They'll come out, and they'll help you out big time. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. Not even close. I love those people down there. Alabama spring football got cranked up Monday, as we talked about. The big deal, who's going to be the starting quarterback. They're back on the field today. Me and Glenn were talking off the air, and back in the old days, that you could practice every single, we used to work, and the scrimmages would be on Wednesdays and Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings was nothing but a scrimmage.
That's right.
The field was uphill both ways in the snow.
You had to walk
barefoot.
The wind was blowing in our face.
If you've ever been to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to our practice field, and we've had coaches that will tell you this, they say it's the hottest place they've ever been in their life. I don't know. It is pretty brutal.
I've never been
our
to
practice
Memphis
field,
in July.
Yeah, our practice field, though, is down in the ground, kind of. It's kind of weird, and you have these, the drapes around it, and you got trees on top of that. So it's the pine trees everywhere, so you don't get a lot of breeze. The practice field is pretty hot. There's no doubt about that. But it's hot everywhere in the South. Come on, it is. But we used to practice every single day. I think we did every single day, I can remember correctly. I know Wednesday was a scrimmage and Saturday was the big scrimmage. You'd have 1s versus 1s, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, especially for the first couple weeks. And then it got closer where you'd be 1 versus 2s, 2 versus stuff like that. So anyway.
1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s, 3 versus 3, and then you got in?
Actually, I didn't get in then. They were like, go get the bag for me. No.
Hold this clipboard, son. Hey. It's more than I played.
No, I started my sophomore year.
Remember that we used to go out there and they would tell us that, like me and the starting punter and me, and they'd go, you guys kind of hang back. We're going to practice blocking punts and field goals today. So
yeah,
they put the walk-ons in there, and they would, oh man, So anyway, but we used to call them AYOs, all you others.
All you others, yeah. Unbelievable. Anyway, everything's changed. I just don't. I don't think we're. I don't know. I'll keep all that to myself.
Here's the thing, though, that you have to remember about that is the decisions to change it were made by people of your era because they're reacting purely emotionally to what they didn't like. They're not considering the fact that maybe that's what made them successful.
Yeah.
And so that's how it ends up happening. You wonder how it ends up happening. The decisions are actually made by the people who went through it. And when they, like I said, when they think about things they didn't like, well, yeah, you didn't like it, but was it maybe critical to help you get to where you were? Yeah, it was. So you're your own worst enemy.
The other thing, too, is, our parents would try to make us come in. We wouldn't come in till dark, and now they don't let them go out.
They're on these phones. I catch myself on this phone. I'm married to somebody that can't get off a phone. It's like a drug to her. It's unbelievable.
Keeps looking for a new husband.
I knew something was going on
You keep it up. She's gonna keep looking.
Remember, half your stuff is gone.
Yeah.
Now, only worry when she's constantly searching life insurance policies. That's when you need to worry.
No wonder I've been sleeping so good.
Yeah, and she said, "Sign this," and you go, "Wait a minute, better read it before you sign it."
But seriously though. A lot of things are changed because people that never played have an opportunity to vote on this stuff also. And if you haven't experienced it, we all have an opinion, but if you've been through it and done it, I think it's a little bit more to listen to.
Did they bring you snacks? You got to have snacks.
Yeah, really. Anyway, I just say this: it's a lot easier now playing major college football than it used to be.
They've changed the rules where you can only practice so many times a week, and then you have to have them in film so many times a week. So
I think it's 20 hours a week now.
Yeah, I don't know.
21.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
That was our first practice, 20 hours. It was
I got some other things on Bama I want to talk about. One story I do want to talk about that touches my heart. I love it when I see these big time, because I truly love Elvis Presley. It was one of my heroes. There's people I used to love watching. John Wayne when I was a kid. Bear Bryant, Elvis Presley, James Brown. There were just certain people that, I don't know, I just loved them. And these stories when people talk about Elvis, Muhammad Ali, the stories he tells about him, he'll be interviewed and they'll talk about asking him that question. He brings up Elvis Presley as the coolest, baddest, and he loved Elvis. But there was another one of my heroes that they interviewed him. And out of the blue, he mentioned Elvis, and I listened. I said, "What?" So I sat there and listened. It was the legendary Joe Willie Namath, Alabama. And you got to remember, well, a lot of you weren't even born in, but 68, 69, 70, I'd even say 72, he was the most famous, I'm talking across sports. He was the guy, Broadway Joe. I think because he was in New York, the commercials, the movies, and everything he did.
So flamboyant.
Yeah, he was the first super.
Coats.
Yeah, on the side. Remember the white pink coat? No, he had a white coat on, fur coat on the sidelines. Yeah. But he was like, it was Ali. When I remember that time, it was Ali, it was Joe Namath. Those were the big superstars of the sports world, not just boxing.
I think he was the inventor of sports bling.
Yeah, he was. He was the first one that was out, kind of wild. But he loved Elvis. He loved Elvis. He said, "Man, I grew up in Pennsylvania. I loved Elvis Presley. My dad loved him. Our family." He said, "Everybody I knew, everybody we were around, they thought Elvis was the coolest, baddest thing on earth." And he goes, "I got to meet Elvis Presley." And what surprised me, because I asked him the question was any other big famous person that you were shocked that knew you and thought you were a big deal like we all think you are? And he laughed and he goes, "Well, to me, the biggest thing out there was Elvis Presley. And when I met him, he knew all about me. I was surprised. He was a football fan. He followed my career at Alabama. He followed me with the Jets. And this is after he won the Super Bowl. And he was, had done movies and things. But he says, not only that, I was met with Elvis several times after that. Every time there was a show nearby, I would go watch Elvis. When we were in Vegas, he said, "I will never forget this. I appreciate it to this day what he did." He said, "We were in Vegas. My dad loved him. And he invited us up after a show. The people came and said, hey, Coach Joe, Mr. Namath, Elvis would love to see you in the suite tonight after the show. As you go in, they seat you and stuff. So sure enough, he goes, I'm going to bring my dad up. Oh, yeah, bring your dad. So he said the show was incredible. My dad was like in hog heaven. He said, we go up there, and it's gorgeous up there top. And he goes, Elvis comes up, he puts his arm around me, we shake hands, and it's like, man, it made me feel like I was his best friend. And this is Elvis Presley. And Elvis is thinking, this is Joe Namath. So he said, what I loved, when he got through and I introduced him to my dad, he put his arm around my dad, led him over to the couch. He sat there and spent quality time with my dad, telling stories, laughing and cutting up. And there's people everywhere. But he was focused on my father, which there were other stars in the suite, but he focused on his dad. He said, I don't know if he realized how much that meant to me, because my dad loved him so much, was a big fan of Elvis, but the way he treated people, the way he treated the average person, that's what made Elvis Presley great. And I think he's right about that. I think the reason I love him so much and James Brown so much, because they were poor, had nothing, kind of like what all of us kind of went through, or with me anyway. And he treated people he was the American dream.
Right.
Him and James Brown both. They from nothing, and they made it to the very top.
And they treated people like they wanted to be treated too.
Yeah.
Took the time out,
And they were always giving stuff away. They would help people any way they could. So I thought that was pretty cool. That was my hero. Well, you're saying I don't have much time to talk about anymore? I got plenty more about Alabama baseball, softball. So you want me to shut up?
The Elvis update.
Yeah, the Elvis update. I love Elvis Presley. Anyway, I thought that was a great story. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Today's Wednesday. Today is a special day in Bay County. If you're on the beach, if you're down here on spring break, you need to get out to the legendary J. Michael's restaurant. You can have the best steaks, the best pork chop, and the biggest you'll ever see right there. They got the best seafood. Their fried shrimp is the best anywhere. I don't care where. No place is better than J. Michael's Shrimp. Go check it out. You'll love it. But only on Wednesday. They have spaghetti special. It is world famous. People come every Wednesday just for that. You only get it on Wednesday. Lunch and dinner. The legendary J. Michael's Restaurant. And over in the great city of Lynn Haven, if you're over across the bridge in town, get the beef braised today. Number one, they're going to treat you like family. They never have a bad day. Their customer service is second to none. Pat Perno, the city commissioner over there, does an incredible job. His restaurant's unbelievable. Today, 10 big, beautiful wings and a side for $9.99. Beef O'Brady's Lynn Haven. They got TVs everywhere. The atmosphere is incredible. Beef O'Brady's Lynn Haven. And we'll be right back with Stevenson Air Conditioning extension of Alabama Update. Be right back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions, but there can only be one. ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny tomorrow morning with temps near 68 and a wind 18 to 22 miles per hour. Sunshine in the afternoon and evening, a strong breeze out of the west and a temperature of 69. A little colder Thursday around 63 with sunshine and a wind at 11 miles per hour out of the northwest. Partly sunny Friday, a light breeze and quite warm around 68. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Panama City, your car is filthy. Your house is a disgrace. But do not fear. Martin Karab is here. At MK Evolution, we terminate dirt, obliterate grime, and crush filth with the force of 1,000 flexing biceps. Full car details so clean, your reflection will say, hasta la vista. Pressure washing so powerful, your neighbors will salute you. Call MK Evolution now at 850-319-2323.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Clare, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you. Serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
Want to know the inside scoop on your favorite teams? From the gridiron to the hardwood to the diamond. For comprehensive sports coverage, it's ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio.
Hey, Martha, Kenny, James, Jenna, all you Auburn Tigers in Southwest Florida. Hey.
Southwest Florida.
Northwest, Southwest, Northeast, Southeast, whatever.
East-West Florida.
Yeah, we're everywhere. Northwest Florida, Auburn update. And don't forget, tomorrow, 8:15, the great one, Andy Burcham. Right here on the Auburn. And I didn't get to listen to him last night.
Mark McLeod.
No, Mark will not be with us today.
Oh, he won't?
Breaking news. Yeah, he's got his voice, he got sick. He did something yesterday, and he said, I couldn't get through that show. He said, I can't even talk. And I was communicating with him last night about some other things. And so
you made it worse talking to him?
No, we didn't talk. We were texting. He could do the show texting. We could read what he says. But I think it's better if we just let him rest. He does too. So we shall let him rest. All right, Auburn. Here we go. Let's start with the Auburn Tigers. I'll be honest with you guys, the SEC basketball is so difficult, especially on the road. I didn't think Auburn would lose another game. I thought that, they might go win it all and have an incredible record this year. They've been number one in the country for 8 straight weeks. They go on the road. They got beat last night by a pretty good Texas A&M team. And you know what was impressive, though? At the end of the game, 2 things. Bruce Pearl was pretty cool about it. They knew they were going to win. They left the court early, okay? They had possession. They just let the officials, everybody knew what was going on. The fans started getting closer to the court. We're talking with 20, 30 seconds left. They call a timeout, and A&M's basketball coach gets up and pushes back. Stay off the court. Do not come on the court. And because the commissioner, I know you guys have kept up with it, they don't want football fields people coming on. They don't want people coming on the basketball court. People can get injured.
Correct.
And there was an ugly situation happened in Kentucky. They were leaving the court, and somebody actually threw a beer can at one of the players, just missed his head. So they're trying to, player safety and everything else. So it's pretty cool that the head basketball coach calmed him down, and then Auburn just took the air out. They knew they weren't going to win, and Texas A&M actually had the ball. They didn't try to score. They let the clock run down Auburn would get the ball back. Bruce Pearl has the team go off the court into the locker room before the game was over, and the clock runs out. And they shook hands, before they left the court. So I thought it was pretty cool what Bruce Pearl did, and really cool what their basketball coach did. But you got to give them credit. Texas A&M 83, the Auburn Tigers 72. Broom got hurt. How bad? I don't know. I just know I think it was his shoulder. We'll get more information on that tomorrow with Andy Burcham. Of course, now, if he doesn't play against Alabama, that gives Alabama a lot better chance of beating Auburn at Auburn. If he's healthy, can go full speed, I think it's going to be really difficult for Alabama to go into Auburn and win that game Saturday. And I got the time of it somewhere. I think it's at 6 o'clock on ESPN, 6 or 7. But that's a huge basketball game. Alabama's got to take care of business against Florida tonight and then turn around and play Auburn. Good luck with trying to win both those ball games. It's going to be very difficult. Auburn, hey, we say it all the time. It doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Let's turn this negative to a positive. Let's turn this setback to a comeback. If he's healthy, if Auburn's healthy, they're in good shape. But what if it's something really bad, though, guys? You lose one time in that tournament, you're gone. It doesn't matter what happens throughout the season. It matters how high you are at the end of the year. You got to win those ball games. And I want to ask you both this. Glenn, you've been involved in basketball. You've called games. When that selection committee gets in there and they try to pick all these teams from the SEC and throughout the country, does it matter more what you've done, say, the last 10 games, or is it the whole body of work? I thought it was a whole body of work, but it seems like if you're hot at the end of the year, like Georgia's been pretty good at the end of the year, you might luck up and get in there. What's more important to the committee? What you've done the last 10 games, or what you've done the whole work, body of work?
I don't know as much about the basketball, but I know one thing. There's a lot more chances because of the amount of teams that are in there. The other thing, too, is I think people remember what you've done in the last half of the season, because most of the time that's your conference. Excuse me, but, as an official, I don't think it really matters who's there. You just call the game and when you see it. And the other thing, too, is, you look at Southeast Conference. Now, Vanderbilt's won some big games down the stretch. So they could sneak in there and upset somebody. So I think when it comes to picking them, if you had success playing on the road and at home, I think whether you lose in the tournament or not gets you in. Now, if you're at the bottom of the tournament where you have to play 3 games to get to the top, that's a different story. But if you're in the top 8, I think you got a shot no matter whether you win or lose.
Brian, is the last 10 a body of work? What do you think?
By rule and the way that they set everything up, excuse me, it's body of work. However, it's only human nature to be swayed by what you've seen down the stretch. And it certainly, has an impact on things, because if they're, you got a team that's got this record and they've won 9 of their last 10, and you got a team that's got the same record and they've won 1 of their last 10, you're going to be naturally inclined to put the hotter team in because they're going to have impressed you more recently. So I think it definitely matters what you've done over the last 10.
Glenn, let's jump into FSU. We got to hit a little bit on Florida the last 30 minutes. So what you got for us today on
I'll give you
Florida
a quick little score thing, then I want to get into the litigation, how it ended and everything.
Yeah, take your time. We can go to the next segment too.
Well, last night in baseball, the FSU beat North Florida 10-1. Today they will be playing, I think, Bethune-Cookman, and then over the weekend they will be hosting David Lipscomb College out of Nashville, which has really been a Division II powerhouse for a long time. So that's the weekend thing, and they're ranked number 4 in the Baseball America, and then they're ranked number 6 in the NCAA ranking. So that'll be up for them. Also, FSU softball, they are 16-3. They're ranked number 8, and so they will be playing at Jacksonville today for a doubleheader, and then Friday they on the road. They go up to Oregon State. They play Oregon State on Friday, and they play Oregon State on Saturday, and Oregon is in there on Friday and Sunday. So they'll be playing 2 big teams ranked on the road this year. So they are ranked number 8 by the NCAA thing, and we'll be glad to see them. Now, FSU and Clemson ended the litigation Tuesday with Jim Phillips, the commissioner. He said this still goes through 2036, and this is still going to be ACC and ESPN connected. The big thing is, I think the winner here is the penalty to leave the conference will be reduced starting in 2026. First year in 2026, when you exit, it'll cost you $165 million. Then it goes down every year for $18 million per year until you level off at $75 million. 2030 and 2031. And so then the good thing about that, if you decide to leave, even though you have to pay the $75 million, but you will still keep your media coverage with you, so you won't lose that thing. Mm-hmm. In the old time, in the past, it's been okay. If you leave, then you lose that media coverage. So they will still have that. The revenue distribution is going to be, depending on your brand or your model, however you want to say that, it's based on a 5-year rolling average. In other words, how many people have watched it. Now, 6% of all this revenue will go to, the incentive for this will be, the more weight will be on your viewership.
Which FSU is number 1, by the way.
Yeah, that Clemson. Yeah, I think because of the late the overtime win that Georgia Tech had, plus they beat FSU. They were actually number 1 this year, but over the average, it's been Clemson and FSU. Right. So that'll be weighed in. Those 60% will go to the top 4 or 5, I think, that receive the viewership totals, and then the rest of it will be divided amongst all the ACC teams in equal amounts. So that would be the other 40% would go into that. If a team, ACC teams, if they make the playoffs, then they will get $4 million. If you go round 2, you get $8 million, and if you go to semis, 14. And if you're in the championship game, $20 million. So that will go over there. And right now, over the past 6 years, Clemson has had the overall most, or maybe FSU. They're really close. And then it goes into like Georgia Tech last year had the most, and 75%. Of all this TV revenue actually it's been going to football. Yeah. The other percentage, how are they going to do with basketball? They hadn't really set that up yet. But what's going on, and there's more to come on this, but it seems like this is a pretty good deal for Clemson and FSU on the viewership.
Do you feel like it's a deal that can keep them in there? Or do you think
I think they feel that way. I think it seemed like it was the way everybody posted it out was a winner. It's a win for FSU and Clemson.
Yeah.
And then before COVID, the FSU offered the FSU AD had already had this kind of plan. He was going to bring it before everybody, and then we had the COVID, and so that that put all that off. So and then of course Phillips voted not to have the 12 in the first time. Instead, it just had the 4. So if we had the 12 in, FSU would have made it in 2022. So.
That is your FSU. Brought to you by Newbies. I love John. I love Charlotte. Wonderful people. Always. You're talking about giving back. They're the Elvis Presley of Bay County. Charlotte, they're always giving back, helping anybody they possibly can. Let's make sure we're out supporting all 4 of the Newbies. Spring break has started, so you're going to have unbelievable entertainment every night at the legendary Mothership. The Newbies 2 on the Curve, go watch all sporting events, and then head on down to the Mothership at night. It will be packed out. People from all over always go down there. The legendary Newbies, and you like the one over in town.
Newbies on the Bay is really set up really nice too. It's right there, very convenient, And if you don't eat at Newbies, there's several restaurants right there. You can take some big barbecue places there.
Now, also, do not forget about today over in Lynn Haven, Beef O'Brady's Lynn Haven. They love all SEC teams, all AC teams. They love everybody, and you will love them. Today at Beef O'Brady's, 10 wings aside for $9.99. You cannot beat that. Now, there's a new restaurant, downtown, historical Bay County, the local 115.
Where's that address?
115 Harrison Avenue. And I tell you what, they've got the old-fashioned, you hadn't seen them for a long time, salad bar. If you're in a hurry, you work downtown, you're just going to get some healthy food, you want to get you a salad bar, run in there, make your salad, pay for it, and take off. Eat it in the car, eat it back at work, do whatever you want
and
to do.
And do it in that order.
Yeah. The local 115. I tell you what, it's like a Bay County Hall of Fame. Go check it out. If you've been an athlete in any of these schools around here, your picture's probably up there. They got them everywhere.
They even got a picture of you down there. Back when you were handsome.
I love this. I love what Kyle's done.
I heard it was in the urinal.
Right there.
Their roofing and general contracting is incredible. They design, they build, residential, commercial, you name it, they can do it all. If you're like me and you're going to be needing a new roof pretty soon, this is the people you want to deal with. Kyle Vandegrift, TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. Don't forget about that. That's who you want to go with. Everything that guy touches turns to gold. He's only 40 years old, and he's incredible. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo!
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
With
over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
That boot store reminds you with the warmer weather usually means spring is just around the corner. That boot store will help you celebrate any time of the year with one of the widest selections of Western wear in the area. They can fit the smallest to the largest, so bring the family and dress up Western style at an affordable price. Carhartt work clothes are available too. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Burke Kia 15th Street, that boot store where God is good all the time.
He has a really low passenger rating on Uber. He punched a magician and started a petition to remove the penny from circulation.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael studio.
Is he sane? I have no idea.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Man, today Wednesday. I love Wednesdays. If I'm over in town, I'm going to get to Beef O'Brady's. If I'm on the beach, I'm going to get J. Michael's and get that world famous J. Michael's spaghetti. I might have it at lunch, but I'll definitely have it for dinner. So you got two great locations. You got all these other places you can go to, too. We appreciate every one of our sponsors. Wonderful people, great men. They do incredible jobs. And get out there and support them. We appreciate that. Get out to how these high school baseball games that are going on, softball games. You want to see some great softball. Arnold's team is incredible. A lot of these teams are good around here. Baseball, second to none in Panhandle, Florida. That's what we're known for. High school baseball, no doubt about that. All right, Florida Gators, they're known for baseball, softball, football, everything. My question to you, my two studs in here this morning, and Wildcat. Notice I said Wildcat, didn't say stud. Anyway, he can't hear. Did you hear that? Yeah, he heard that. He did hear that. All right, 2024, we all know that Florida started out slow. They had a record one time, they were 4-5. We're all talking about, is he going to make it? Is he going to survive? Probably not. What did he do? They finished up strong. They went 8-5. They actually went to a bowl game, and they won the bowl game. They beat Tulane. This year, my question with that stud quarterback, maybe the best quarterback in all of college football, Lagway, is he good enough? Is Florida good enough? Can they be the surprise team? Can they make it to the playoffs in 2025? Remember, they got to play at LSU. They got to play at Miami. They got Texas at home. They got Georgia. The schedule is brutal. Strength of schedule, does it matter? No, I don't believe that. I don't trust them. But we'll start with Glenn, you old football coach. What do you think? Is Florida going to make the playoffs 2025 with that brutal schedule?
I think they will because of Lagway. I just think he's
all right.
the real
I like
deal.
this. Good job.
He proved it last year towards, the things he can do now. They've gotten some people to surround him with more weapons, and so I think they'll have a chance to do that.
Brian, he's an unbelievable talent. They got good running backs. They're going to be better. I worry about the schedule. I do. That's a lot. If they get in, they'll be the first team with 3 wins to get in. That's my opinion. If they get in, they got to win at least 9 regular season games. And even that,
no, they're going to need to get to 10. I don't know. I'm looking at this. To me, there's probably 5 games that they're definitely going to be favored in. First 2, LIU, South Florida, Kentucky, Florida State, and probably Miami. I don't know that they'll be favored against LSU. They won't be favored against Texas. I don't think they'll be favored at Texas A&M. They will be favored against Mississippi State. They won't be favored against Georgia. They won't be favored at Ole Miss, I don't think, and then not against Tennessee. So you're figuring right there, they're already going to be dogs in 6 games most likely, and they've got to win 4 of those 6. I don't know. It's a tall order to make the playoffs. I do think they can be. I think an 8-4 season would be a good one. I think 9-3 would be very good. 10-2 would be phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, 10-2, yeah.
So yeah, and I think they need 10 to make the playoffs. So I would say no on the playoffs, but that's not any indication of them being a better football team. It's just reality.
Yeah. Again, I said earlier, the only way they would be the only team to get in with 3 losses because of what he's
tough road games this year.
Yeah, if they lose 3 games real close, like say lose to Texas by a field goal. Is that game at home?
Texas game is in Gainesville, yes.
Okay, and
LSU's on the road, Miami's on the road, A&M's on the road, Georgia, of course, in Jacksonville. Kentucky and Oxford and Ole Miss are on the road. So you have 3 straight games, Georgia, Kentucky, and Ole Miss, that are all technically away from Gainesville. That's a tough stretch. And then you come off of that with Tennessee and Florida State at home. That's a pretty rough stretch after the break.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
That's probably. I think that's the toughest in college football. I know it is. But if they lose early, let's say they lose by a field goal to LSU, and they lose another game early in the year, and they get hot, and maybe lose to say they lose Ole Miss late in the year or somebody like that, they could get in with 3 losses. I think they're the only team that could, but they would have to be very competitive. If they get blown out or look bad, that won't happen. That schedule, they got to give them credit for that schedule. And of course, it's what's going on around the other everything else in college football at the time. But if any team can get in with 3 losses, it's definitely Florida Gators. I think it's going to be difficult to get in. All right. I want to talk about a couple other things. I was shocked yesterday. I shouldn't, because we know Sully doesn't pitch his top pitchers in the middle of the week. And usually they don't play an SEC team in the middle of the week in the beginning of the season anyway. Florida gets beat by UCF 13-3 in baseball. That got my attention. But then I started thinking about everything. Maybe they're okay. The baseball team, 9-1 at home, 2-0 at the road. And they just lost this one, so I didn't add that one in there. Basketball, the huge game tonight. Does they get it done? Do they go in and do what they did to Auburn, or they go in there and get beat like they did at Tennessee? Florida on the road at Alabama. The basketball team right now is 12-4 in the SEC. Overall, they're 25-4. At home, they're 14-1. On the road, they're 6-3. Neutral sites, they're 5-0. Florida Saturday, they beat Texas A&M. Texas A&M just beat the number 1 team in the country at home, the Auburn Tigers. Florida 89, Texas A&M 70. Today, 6 o'clock, ESPN2, Florida at Alabama, a huge basketball. The winner will probably finish 2nd in the SEC. Alabama's record right now, they're also 12-4 in the SEC. They're 23-6 overall. So the winner will be number 2. Alabama at home this year, they're 12-2. They lost to, who'd they lose to? I know they lost to Auburn. Who was the other team that they lost to? Was it Florida?
Who was that?
Alabama. They lost to Auburn. Who was the other team they lost to at home?
Vanderbilt, no.
I can't remember.
Was it Tennessee?
Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was Tennessee. I'm not sure. But anyway, neutral on the road, Alabama's 8-3, neutral site 3-1. That's a huge game tonight. And that, again, tip-off is going to be at, what did I say, 6 o'clock our time, ESPN2. Florida,
I'm looking now.
This is what selected the best 7 non-conference football games of 2025. And maybe they're right, maybe they're not. Coming at number 7, Virginia Tech at South Carolina. That game was in a classic in Atlanta, one of those Chick-fil-A deals.
Real quick, they lost to Ole Miss at home as well.
The Ole Miss Rebels, thank you. Number 6, biggest non-conference game in 2025 in the nation. Alabama Week 1, huge game versus FSU. Gus Malzahn versus Alabama again. He's had success against the mighty Crimson Tide. If they got a quarterback that can run and throw, watch out, Bama. This is a big, huge football game for both head coaches. Alabama cannot lose this game. Number 5, Michigan at Oklahoma. I got a lot of respect for Michigan. They played at home last year against Texas. They're on the road this year against Oklahoma, and they played 9 Big Ten games. Good job. Both head coaches need to win this game badly. Number 4, Texas A&M at Notre Dame. That's going to be a good game. I'll enjoy watching that one. Number 3, the big one, Florida Gators at Miami. We got Carson Beck, the new quarterback. If he's healthy, they putting all this $4+ million into his arm. Will he be the starting quarterback? You pay that kind of money, I think he'll be the starting quarterback. He's had all kind of success versus the Florida Gators. The problem was his surrounding cast at Georgia is pretty good. That's a huge football game, Florida at Miami, number 3. But here are your top 2 biggest non-conference games across the country. Number 2, week 1, LSU on the road at Clemson. 2 playoff teams going at it in week 1. Brian Kelly needs this game big time. That's a big game, no doubt. And number 1, and I get it, it's going to be TV ratings, they'll break them. Week 1 is going to be incredible. A lot of good games. Texas at Ohio State. They think it'll be either number 1 versus number 2, but they definitely think it will be the top 3 games, either number 1 versus 3, 2 versus 3, or something like that. This is going to be a huge football game, kind of like Alabama and Florida State back in the day when they met. This is going to be built up quite a bit. You got the defending national champs against a team that a lot of people think might win it all this year, Coach Stark and the Texas Longhorns. I think they got it right. That's some pretty good games right there. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll come back and I got some questions for these experts in here.
I'll say a little bit about Florida softball, too.
Yeah. You got it?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about it right now. Let's talk about Dr. Chad Mitchell, the legend. Can you believe this man has given up 25 years of his weekends to cover and take care of Bay County athletes? The legendary Chad Mitchell. People come from all around just to have him operate on him. He can touch you. He can heal you. He's got that heal. He can do it. The guy.
Demons out.
Oh, Lord. That was good. I'm going to leave it right there. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions, but there can only be one. ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Sunny tomorrow morning with temps near 68 and a wind 18 to 22 miles per hour. Sunshine in the afternoon and evening, a strong breeze out of the west and a temperature of 69. A little colder Thursday around 63 with sunshine and a wind at 11 miles per hour out of the northwest. Partly sunny Friday, a light breeze and quite warm around 68. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting is a fifth-generation contracting company based right here out of Bay County. TK Vandy's expertise in commercial and residential roofing, as well as a design-build general contractor, set them aside as a versatile and fresh alternative to achieve your construction needs. Contact TK Vandy Roofing, 850-866-9908, or email support@tkvandy.com. They can't wait to help you.
The number one SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, the home of Glenn Manley and the Auburn Tigers. You listen to Andy Burcham tomorrow at 8:15. We'll talk about what happened in College Station when Auburn was upset. Number one team in the country is upset by Texas A&M, and how bad's the injury? Is he going to be okay? The big game this weekend, Auburn, Alabama. The big game tonight is Florida Gators versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. All right, I want to talk to you about a guy that I truly love. We got pictures of him in Jared's bedroom. He loved this guy. He did two quarterbacks that he completely, our whole family, Tebow and Danny Werfel. Now, we all know what Tebow has done, but I'm telling you, before him, it was Danny Werfel. Two-time All-American, two-time SEC Player of the Year, two-time Davey O'Brien Award winner, one-time Heisman Trophy winner, one-time national championship quarterback. Florida won 4 consecutive SEC championships, 1993 to 96. The guy was unbeatable, especially in SEC play. He finished his career at Florida, completed 708 completions out of 1,170 passes. That's incredible, guys. The yardage was unbelievable. He passed at Florida for 10,875 yards. An incredible 114 touchdowns. That's the best in college SEC history, what he did there. Second most in college football history. His passing rating, 163.56, the best in college football. He won the 1966 Heisman. That year, he completed 207 passes out of 360 for 3,625 yards and an incredible 39 touchdowns. He was a fourth-round pick by the Saints. Let me ask you both. Glenn, you watched him in high school.
Yes.
My question to both of you who would you take, him or Tebow? But they both had this weird passing. Tim Tebow had a really slow release. You know, the way he threw the ball, the big muscular body he had. And then you had Danny had a weird release also. But they both were incredible, and they didn't do very well in the NFL. In the NFL, you got to be able to do so many different things. But if you're going, and you saw him at the high school level, Glenn, who would you take first if you had to pick a quarterback, Danny Werfel or Tim Tebow? Who would you start at Florida if you're the coach and they're both on your team?
Well, Tebow did a lot more running in high school. And Werfel was so accurate. Of course, he was throwing to E.G. Green and a couple of those guys, too. So
you saw him at Fort Walton doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you're a good coach when you got those people on your team. I just think I would take him because of both of them had great leadership. Both of them's dads were pastors.
Yeah.
And both of them
incredible.
are big FCA guys.
Yeah.
And so, but Character, yeah. And so, to me, it's just as far as the pure passer, I would have to take Werfel because of what he did, and then what he did. Spurrier was smart enough to put him in the shotgun. So,
against Florida State.
Yeah, against Florida State because, they were hitting to the echo of the whistle, as they say. But I'm not taking anything away from Tebow. I think he was great. But I just think, to me, I would just take Werfel over him because of the passing ability.
Who would you take, Danny or Tim Tebow?
It would depend a little bit on who my offensive coordinator was, probably. But, in this day and age, you almost need your quarterback to be able to be mobile. In that case, you'd rather have Tebow. Both of them were great leaders, so I don't think you have an issue there.
Both are big-time winners.
Yeah, I liked Werfel. He was much more of a timing quarterback. And I don't know if the game is exactly the same now. I think you need a little bit of a stronger arm in the way things go. But that said, you can't even breathe on receivers anymore. But give me Tebow, but just very slightly over Werfel, just because of the way the game is played now.
I would take either one of them, 50-50. I love both of them.
Way to take that stand.
God, they're both just incredible people, man. What they've done, both big-time Christians. What Danny did over New Orleans, what Tebow does all the time.
What was crazy is in '94, when Auburn went down to the Swamp and beat Florida. Terry Dean entered that game. A lot of people forget about him because that's when Werfel got the job. Terry Dean entered that game as the Heisman favorite and left that game as third-string quarterback. That's crazy, just to think how quickly it could turn.
Glenn, I would take Tebow for only one reason, what he said. You got to be able to run a little bit. And Danny could run a little bit, no doubt about that, but Tebow's can run over you, around you, and outrun you.
Right.
You know, that would be the only reason if I was a coach to pick Tim Tebow over Danny Werfel, but you would win championship with both. They both are championship quarterbacks. One thing that struck me when you were talking about Danny, he can get the ball to all the different receivers. I was talking to Carl Franks. Carl would come, he stayed at our house one night, and I was picking his brain. He was down there recruiting Ernest Graham in Lee County. We were in Cape Coral. So I was talking to him. I said, man, what's it like? How is Coach, you know, he said, man, we love Coach. He's great. He said, but he goes, he comes up with these formations. You know, when they started doing 5 wide, he was the first one to do all this crazy stuff. No open backfield, no running backs in the backfield, receivers everywhere. And he would go, he had unbelievable schemes. He goes, but how are we going to protect the quarterback? We take the backs out, they blitz, they do this. How we don't have enough to protect the quarter. And we try to well, Coach, how are we going to do this protection? Well, y'all protect it. Y'all better get it protected, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And he says, sure enough, we're going to do what he says. He comes to these formations. We're going to run them. And it was up to us, and line coach and us, to figure out how we're going to protect Danny. And this was back when Werfel was playing. And remember, then they went to the shotgun in the bowl game. They got killed Danny about got killed
at Florida State.
I remember his mother was really upset with Mickey because Mickey recruited him. She was really upset about that stuff. I heard all kinds of stuff up there from Florida coaches about that game. They have a different take than Florida State coaches and Florida coaches, as you would. And I got to hear both sides, so that was pretty interesting.
But so much of Spurrier's offense was timing routes and throwing to the spot, and it was your job as a receiver to be here and all like that. So they would get rid of it
quick.
Right.
And if you did that, you didn't get sacked.
Yeah, I always heard his impression was if everyone does their job the right way, it doesn't matter because our guys know where they're going. They don't know where we're going, and you just throw to the spot and you go like that.
And were they going to go man coverage, and then they hit the one over top, and you get burnt? Or are they going to play zone where then you can read where the backers are coming through and throw it to that area?
And because no one had seen that kind of offense, the defenses were not able to adjust. I mean, a lot of times they got a run linebacker, an inside linebacker trying to play on a little slot receiver, and it's just no contest.
I was always curious if when they would do that, they were playing Bama when they had that defensive coordinator, and just it went right out of my head.
Who? Florida's?
Alabama's.
Oh, Oliver?
Yeah, Bill Oliver. When he played Miami, and he had put 11 people on the line of scrimmage, and that blew the mind of Miami's quarterback.
Yeah.
And I had talked to their coaches before they recruited our area down in Southwest Florida, and they were like, yeah, that kind of freaked everybody out, and it really shouldn't have, but it did. And they got their calls wrong. The backer get to a gap or a lineman get to a gap and stuff. And Alabama's loaded up front on that game. Oh, my God. But I was always wondering how Spurrier would have gone against that. I guarantee it would have been a quick fade, though.
Well, I mean, we saw it in the SC Championship earlier that year. They almost beat them.
Yeah, but I don't think Bama did that 11-man front against them.
Not often. And what Oliver and DuBose, who was an assistant at that time, always talked about is they were watching film, and everybody thought Miami had the best athletes in the country and was the best team in the country. And they said when they watched film, they realized our athletes on defense are better than theirs on offense.
Yeah.
And so we can go up and press them. And like you saw George Teague running down a guy they thought was the fastest guy in the country. I mean, they said that we noticed our guys had more athletic ability on defense than they had on offense, so we could press them.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much for being here today. Y'all did a wonderful job, like always. Glenn, love you. Brian, love you. You going to be at lunch?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Wildcat, you going to be at lunch?
I'm going to be at lunch somewhere.
Well, good. We won't be at J. Michael's today, so where are you going to be?
No, you won't be having spaghetti.
Get down to Lynn Haven. Let's go to Lynn Haven, beef our Brady's.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Ooh, chicken.
Yeah, you go there.
Onion rings.
Yeah, and just wait on Coach.
Just wait.
I'm sure he'll be there.
Tell Patrick.
I'll be right there.
Tell Pat to put it on my tab. Or Glenn. No, put it on Glenn's.
Do that.
Put it on Glenn's. Glenn.
Yes, sir.
You still playing golf every day?
Well, not today.
Well, thank God.
Why not today? Chicken and Sunny?
No, every Wednesday he's with us.
Yeah.
Don't put that in his head.
Can't hit them worm burners when it's raining outside.
Well, you didn't ask me if I was coming to St. Michael's today.
Well, I know you're not.
We know. Okay.
I know you're not coming.
Okay.
Are you coming?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Wow.
He ain't coming.
He ain't coming.
Yeah, I am.
Let's bet on it. If he comes, you buy.
Hey, audience, come see if Glenn shows up today.
The legendary Jay. We're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
College basketball is back.